Hello again, everybody. Welcome to yet some more GTA Online content. And this is going to be a kind of like a wish list for future DLCs that I want in the game or, updates. So let's kick off this list with something I'd like to call the 911 DLC. And the reason why I call it the 911 DLC is because it'll have like all the emergency vehicles like you're able to purchase either from Pegasus or San Andreas Super Autos. And what would happen is that you would be able to have the FIB Buffalo, like the one where it has the sirens instead of the regular Buffalo. You would be able to have the cop car in both Blaine County or the one that's in Los Santos. You'd be able to purchase those ones. You would also be able to have an ambulance and the fire truck available from Pegasus. And they would also come with cop outfits, EMT outfits, firefighter outfits, and also a fire extinguisher as a weapon. And that would be a really good DLC. Another DLC I would like, well, it's not a new DLC, but rather the return of seasonal DLC. For example, the Valentine's Day Massacre and the Christmas DLCs. Now, I know people would probably not be happy with that because it would be the same thing, except it would have all the stuff that it had in, the original one, except it would probably have like another, like maybe two more vehicles and a couple more outfits just to, mix things up a little bit. So like for if they for Valentine's 2015, I would like to see another Valentine's Day Massacre DLC, and it would bring back the Roosevelt, like those cars that were seasonal, and the outfits. Same with the Christmas DLC. You could have this, bring back the old outfits and have this like add the snow in it again. Another DLC I would like would be a Pegasus vehicle customization DLC. I don't know what you would call that, but it would be cool. Be able to customize boats, air, and other vehicles. And just to make things, good, to make things interesting, you could also include vehicles like the Hydra and the Laser into the DLC so people wouldn't just be like, oh, there's nothing new in it. You could just customize. So it would make everyone happy. Another DLC would be the San Fierro and Las Venturas DLC. This is a DLC that's been highly speculated. And in my honest opinion, I think if it ever gets added, it will be added on current generation systems only, like the PS4 and the Xbox One, as well as PC. And the reason why I say that is because having three cities is, will kind of, I don't know if the last generation can handle it. But I think the way that'll work is since San Fierro and Las Venturas aren't like connectable by a bridge, what they would do is that you would go to the Los Santos International Airport and you would just be able to choose like what city you want to go to and maybe pay like a couple $1,000s for a flight ticket. Nothing crazy, so you could keep going back and forth over there, but nothing like too cheap either, just to make it realistic. Actually, it should be too cheap since it's like since they're close to each other in plane distance. So maybe like a couple $100 or maybe 1,000, 2,000, and that's how you would be able to do it. And the thing that would happen in the new cities is that the new cities would have maybe a unique radio station on it, kind of like how Blaine County has the Blaine County talk show host, the conservative radio station, and how Los Santos has that weird talk show channel with with Laszlo. So I think that would be a good DLC, to be honest, and it would add a lot into the game. Now, what I would like in Las Venturas would for there to be casinos, but let's be real. I think Rockstar can get into a lot of trouble for doing that. I think the way that they could do it is that you can play casinos, but you can't play it with other people because since Rockstar has microtransactions, they could the government can have that count as gambling. But, whatever. Another DLC I would like, this is the second to last DLC I would like to see, would be a Wall Street kind of DLC where, like, the stock market gets opened and they have a whole bunch of business suits and everything, and you would be able to invest in the stock market. I know that's kind of like a New York thing, but I don't know. I just think it would be a good DLC, and it's probably a DLC that's going to happen. And finally, the Heist DLC. Now, I know everyone wants the Heist DLC, and it's been confirmed by Rockstar. The thing is, we've been waiting over a year for that DLC to happen, and some things that I want on the Heist DLC is that you don't need any new vehicles or anything. Actually, maybe you could add a couple vehicles that would be ideal for Heist, like these giant Pegasus vehicles that can withstand bullets, maybe. But if no new vehicles came from it, I wouldn't be disappointed because we already have all the tools that we need to do a heist mission. Like, like when heists come out, I will use my tailgater because that's a pretty fast four-door car and it would fit the entire team, hopefully. And it would just be good to use as an escape plan from the cops. But I think it wouldn't hurt for them to add something in, but if they didn't, I wouldn't really be bothered. And I'm sure all the people care about is just the heists. They don't really care about other stuff being in that DLC. But the thing is, what I request is that they need to have high payouts first. They can't, like, if it's something like a bank robbery, like a bank heist, it needs to have a huge payout. If it's something stupid like a corner store heist or some shit, or I'm trying to think of something else because you kind of do rob corner stores already, but like any kind of heist that don't require as much effort as other ones. But if it's like a bank robbery, it should have plenty payout. Like I'm talking about in the hundred thousands or the millions. And I don't know if Rockstar better do it because a lot of people have left because heists aren't in yet. And I recently got back into Grand Theft Auto, and when the I'm Not a Hipster DLC came out, I was very disappointed. I had a feeling that heists were in because they said spring. They were going to come out in spring, and they never came out. They delayed it twice, the heists. So, very disappointing. But when it does come out, it better be worth the wait. So, let me know in the comments what kind of DLCs you guys want from GTA 5, or GTA Online, rather. And let me know if you think these DLCs are good ideas, or what the possibility of them actually being released are, possible. So, then again, thank you for the support, and stay tuned for more content.